Good morning. Good morning. Let me get to all the places that I need to hit go live. And if you get here, as you get here, make sure that you say hello in the comments. And let's be going live. Are we live everywhere? Beautiful, beautiful. So as you get here, make sure that you say good morning and let me know that you're here. And I got one more place to do this. Let me get it done. Hold on a second. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So we are live. And like I said, make sure that you say hello in the comments and let me know that you're here. Sometimes it shows up and sometimes it doesn't. So I just want to make sure. There's so many times I get off the live, and then when I look back, I realize there were people there that I didn't even know they were there because they didn't say hello. And it doesn't mean you have to have a conversation. Just make sure that I get to know that you're there, so I can just feel your presence, right? All right. And so for those that came to last night's, good morning, Wendy. And Wendy was there that came to the masterclass last night. It was so much fun. And I was so excited with having people there that really participated and seemed to get a lot out of it. So I'm super excited, and I'm going to be sending out an email later today, and there'll be a replay in there. Good morning, Kimmy. Thank you for being here. Oh, Wendy, you're welcome. I was so glad to have you there and to have conversations with you. It was epic. I just enjoyed the heck out of every moment of it. It was really powerful. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go to today's affirmation. And let's see, let me copy and paste. Oh, wait a minute, I'm doing the wrong one. Hold on. Hold on. Copy. My computer must be moving a little slow today. So, here we go. All right. So today's affirmation is, I'm the star of my own epic adventure. Ooh, doesn't that one feel good? And so there's actually another part to that, because I like to have a shorter piece so that if you're writing out your affirmation, it's not this long thing. But the actual second part of that, I'm going to share that. And so you can put them both together if you want. So it is, I'm the star of my own epic adventure, crafting a life story brimming with excitement, growth, and limitless possibilities. So I just love being the star of your own epic adventure. Because, we've talked about writing your story, playing your own song, playing your own game, all of those things. And that's such a powerful way to look at it. And so as you're getting here, make sure you say hello and let me know that you're here. And let me just check and see if I can't always see the other locations that I'm streaming, whether anybody's there or not. But, I just love this journey. I love, figuring it out and being able to really realize that we are writing our own story and that we can do the things. Oh, please repeat second part. All right, the second part, I'm putting it up. Crafting a life story brimming with excitement, growth, and limitless possibilities. And for one thing, this system will not let me put both of those pieces together. Up there, it'll split them all up and everything. So I just did it this way. So I hope that's let me try it again. Let me see if I can. No, it's not going to let me. All right. So did you get that, Wendy? That second part? Crafting a life story brimming with excitement, growth, and limitless possibilities. And isn't that what we want for ourselves, right? To be able to have this epic adventure and to be able to have our story full of excitement, growth, and limitless possibilities. But the thing that's interesting when we think about it is growth is beautiful, but it's not always easy, right? And so it's just by wanting to have this limitless possibilities and just wanting to have this excitement and this change in our lives, it means there's going to be growth, right? And so growth can be uncomfortable. It's getting outside of that comfort zone, which is some of the stuff that we talked about last night. And but it's really important. Like I've mentioned before in my podcast, I talk about we live a mosaic life, and it's all the little bits and pieces of our life that make us who we are and put us where we at, where we're at. And so it's all of those things grew us to be who we are. And I don't care who you are, there have been times that that growth experience was not fun and not easy. But when you can look at those things and see them as um, propellers, projectors into the where you want to be, because we can't all be in the valley and walking and everything and get on the other side of the hill. At some point, you got to be climbing the hill, right? And so you have the opportunity to create the story of your life where those ebbs and flows and everything are amazing. You can have the lesson that came out of them can just feed your soul. It can help you to help somebody else, right? Because the whatever you've gone through, there's somebody else that's gone through something similar, but they may feel like they're all by themselves. And by being able to share your story of growth and expansion, you might help someone. No, not everybody wants to do that kind of thing. But even if you're just having coffee with a friend and you share something and they all of a sudden it's like they feel like, oh my gosh, that's me. And thank you for sharing that. So it doesn't have to always be this big thing where you're sharing out to the world. You can make a ripple effect in just your area, right? And just think about it. If you say something to someone and it helps them, and then they go on and they help someone else, and then they help someone else, that can be a huge difference that you've made in the world and you don't even know it. And that's a beautiful thing, that we can write our story. We can be the star of our own adventure and just let it relax into it and realize that we are creating it as we go. And so one of the things that's so important about that idea is that when something happens to you, which we all know, this is life, we're human, it's going to happen. When something happens, you can stop and take a breath. And maybe it's a hard breath to take, but maybe you stop and you take a breath, right? And then you feel the feels, whatever they may be, to get through, right? We don't want to bury the feelings. We want to start feeling them and seeing the beauty of them. And sometimes that's a hard space to be, but it's learning the lesson from whatever's happened. What was it there to teach me? What was it there to help me do, to help me learn? Maybe, I liken it sometimes to where we're going down the road in our car, right? And then there's this big tree over the road, and we have to revert and go around. But if that tree hadn't been there was a bridge that was out that we could have just went poof right down, right? So sometimes the obstacles and the things that happen to us in our lives are not really such a, but they may be there to just keep us from making the next step that would have been detrimental. It's redirecting us, and it's looking at things to see how that's possible and changing the emotional. Once you've gone through the emotional stuff, because we don't, like I said, we don't want to bury it, because burying it, it's going to rear its head at some point, right? Like the one of the books that I dearly love is Feelings Buried Alive Never Die, and they show up somewhere, and and that could be any kind of feeling that you just sweep it under the rug. So you got to feel the feels, and then start the discovery process of, ooh, what was this supposed to lead me to? And when you can start looking at things like that, instead of feeling like the victim, and it's okay to feel like the victim when something happens, it's okay. But you don't want to stay there long, because remember, we're vibrational beings. We are bringing to us what we're vibrationally putting out. And if you're vibrating victim a lot, then there's going to be a lot of things that happen to help you vibrate that even more. So you're going to be the victim of a lot of different things. And just recognizing that helps you to, or helps me to, make a different choice, to decide that I want to be, and I am the star of my own epic adventure, right? I'm the star. Not only am I the star, but I'm the writer, I'm the creator, right? And when we look at life in that way, then you become so much more powerful, because when you're just sitting in the ocean in this little sailboat and you're just being tossed around everywhere, it feels like crap, right? It feels like everything is out of your control. And I don't know about you, but I've been there many times when I feel like everything is happening and it's like I don't know what to do, and everything is wrong, and why is all this happening to me? I've been there. I have many times. And the beauty of all of this work that I've been doing over the past few years is that when that moment happens, because it still happens, right? I'm in the director and the producer too. Yes, yes, that's right. And it is powerful to recognize that now, when those things happen, I feel it for a moment and I think, holy shit, why is this keep happening to me? Or why did this happen? And then all of a sudden I will catch myself and I think, wait a minute, I want to know, what can I learn from this? And then I just change the questions I'm asking, right? So we ask powerful questions. Then how can I make it better, right? How can I not repeat this? How can I do something different so this never happens to me again? It's becoming, you're not only the writer, but like Wendy says, the director and the producer, the star. It's your story, and you get to decide how you want it to go. And the thing is, like we talk about all the time, the only constant in life is change. So things are always changing. Even as we're sitting here right now, we're changing. Biologically, we're changing every second. And our environment's changing every second. Nothing is exactly the same right now and then right now, right? It's all different. Good morning, Ginger. Good morning. So we're really looking at life as it's changing, and we're changing and growing. And let's be the controller too, right? And as we're having this epic adventure, and like Wendy says, we're the director, we're the producer, we're the star. We're writing our story, and let's write one that means something to us, right? So when you get, 5 years down the road and you look back at your story, do you want to see the story that you would want to tell everybody about, with, even if it starts with, You'll never believe what I had happen to me that I had to overcome. That's okay for it to start like that, right? But just feel into how powerful it would be to start the story that way, right? You'll never believe what I had to overcome. And what does that imply? Something bad happened, but you overcame it, right? And, and it's getting to an emotional place where that feels good, right? And it doesn't happen overnight. No, no, it's a journey, just like your life is a journey, right? And so it's deciding, how do you want this to go? All right, so now I'm going to get to the journal prompt. Here we go. You ready? All right. If my life were a fun, adventurous movie, what thrilling new chapter would I write to show my awesomeness and dreams? So this is a good challenge, right? What if you did write that chapter today and you just wrote it out like it's in the future? And, for people that were there last night, yes. And then you're getting to decide how you want it to play out. You're getting to be in the control room. You're writing the story. You're producing it. What was it? You're not only, I have to look back and see. Oh, what was it? The director and the producer. Okay. You're writing it. You're directing it. You're producing it. You're acting in it. It's your story. Decide how you want it to look, what you want it to say, what you want it to learn, right? I mean, we are powerful beings and we don't step into that power nearly enough. And so I'm excited about writing the next chapter of my story. And, as we get a little age on us, I'm not going to say older because I hate it when people do that shit, right? Oh, you got an aching pain? Oh, it's because you're older. It's because this. It's because you're older. It's because you're older. That seems to be the excuse for anybody that's reached 40, right? And it's not true. Now, we do sometimes have aches and pains, but it's not necessarily our age. It's something that we've done or haven't done, right? Because I know, I've told you, I've wonked up my hip a little bit and I'm still working through it. But I really know that part of it was my fault. I sat behind the computer too much without stretching my body. And because I kept saying I didn't know how it happened. But then the more I thought about it, it's because I had spent so much time, and I bet the chair that I'm using, I bet I need a different chair. And, there's things that I see, like I had been going for these long walks every day. I was walking a mile to 4 miles. And then for some reason, I let busyness get in the way and I wasn't walking like I was. So all of these things came into play that created the hip thing. So now I'm working through it. But I'm saying that because, good morning, Erlyn. It's good to see you. The reason I'm saying that is because if there's something going on when you're getting a little older, right? It's usually coming from something that you've done or haven't done. And most of the time, it's the thing we haven't done. We haven't really exercised our body well. We haven't eaten right, whatever it may be, right? Because if old age was what caused all of these things, every old person would have them, every single one. But that's not true. That's the ones we see on the news. That's the ones we see in all the commercials. That's the ones that we see in our environment, right? But it's not true. Because you can find people, if you look, you can find people that do extraordinary things and have the full capacity of their bodies and their minds at an older age. And so I invite you, if some of that is an excuse for you or someone you know. Start looking up the people that do extraordinary things and then see what did they do different than what you're doing. And I bet most of the time it's going to be the movement of the body and the exercise of the mind. And just look it up and start noticing those people. Because remember, we bring to us in our environment the things that we focus on. So if we start focusing on the people that are people we admire, that as they get older, they do so much, right? Then we will start to just subconsciously start reverting to some of the behaviors that they are showing instead of the ones that some of these people over here. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those people, but I don't want to emulate the people that can't hardly walk as they get older, that are always having aches and pains, they start getting so sedentary and then when they get really old, they sit on the couch and watch TV and that's it. I want a different life. I decide and I'll write my adventurous story, and I'm choosing to write it in a way that makes me powerful and have the ability to move and to enjoy life until I'm gone, right? I want to be one of the people that 90 years old, I'm still out walking, I'm still out doing. So decide. And then all the aspirations, the ideas, the thoughts, and the people will start showing up that make sure you get there, right? If you decide. And so I know I got off on a tangent here, but it's fun to think about sometimes. If we're writing our story, we're the star of our own epic adventure, right? And then we're having this adventurous life where it's thrilling and it's beautiful, and we're writing it. Let's write it with us being the powerful creators that we are. So really today, as you do this process, do like I ask you a lot of times, which is to, before you start writing, just get in the moment and sit and just set your timer. I mean, if you have the opportunity today, set it for 15 to 30 minutes. Start with 15 if that's all you can do. But sit there in total silence. Your notifications are gone. There's no music playing. There's no podcast, nothing in your ear, right? But just the sounds of your environment. And just focus. Focus on your breath. Focus on the sounds. And one of the things I've shared before that I like to do, and it really helps me to get in the moment, is I will label the sounds that I hear so that my mind's not just going off in a tangent, because that's what happens is we sit down, and a lot of people say, well, I can't meditate. I can't sit in silence because my mind's wandering. Well, hell, everybody's does, right? It's just as soon as you recognize that, all of a sudden you're thinking about, wait a minute, did I close that door? Did I do this? Did I do that? What do I need to do later? What am I going to have for lunch? As soon as all those thoughts, you recognize that they're there, then come back to your breath and start listening to the sounds, and you label them. Like, I hear the ceiling fan. I hear the hum of my computer. I hear a vehicle outside. And you start labeling those sounds. And what that does is it brings you back to this moment right here. And after you've done that and you've gone through your 15, your 30 minutes, whatever's comfortable for you, that's when you get your notebook out and you start writing the answers to this. And it's because when you can get in the moment and get the chatter a little bit quieter in your mind, a little bit slower, then it allows that God voice, the universe, your mind to kind of float into this beautiful space of openness where these ideas and these thoughts will come to you. And then you just write them down. and just take on your playful adventure, right? And be there and just write whatever comes up. And it doesn't matter how stupid and how crazy it sounds or how far out of reach it sounds. Write it down and just play. And the thing that you're going to find if you'll do this is that even though some of the things may sound a little bit crazy to you, a little bit way outside of your comfort zone, it may awaken something in you that allows you to move a little bit more out of your comfort zone and allows you to create this new thrilling chapter in your life that you've written out, right? So today, do your affirmation, write it on your sticky note, your index cards, a screensaver on your phone, on your mirror. Just put it somewhere. I am the star of my own epic adventure. And just think about it, being the star of your own epic adventure. That's taking ownership, right? And then if you want to grab and put the second part to it, that is crafting a life story brimming with excitement, growth, and limitless possibilities, because you are a limitless possibility manifester. And then when you do your journal prompt, you put it on I love it when you put the date and then you put the affirmation and the journal prompt together, and then you just brain dump. So write out the journal prompt before you sit down for your silence, right? Have your notebook already. And that reminds me, I got to get a new notebook. But if my life were a fun, adventurous movie, what thrilling new chapter would I write to show my awesomeness and dreams? And just brain dump everything that comes up, right? And then in 3 months, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, a year down the road, when you come back and you look at this, you may find that that story that you wrote, that new chapter of your awesomeness and your dreams, that a huge portion of it is now your reality, because that's how it starts. Isn't that beautiful to think of? That you can write this out and then come back and look at it and be wonderfully, excitingly knowing that that is your reality. How beautiful, right? So I'm going to, I've got to get off here in just a moment, but those that are watching from other places, let me just look here. All right. So, and before I forget, anybody that's watching the replay, make sure you put #replay and let me know that you were here as well. And thank you guys for being here this morning with me. And again, thank you all the amazing guests that were at the masterclass last night. And I can't wait to share more with you guys. And remember, I will be here tomorrow morning, Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern to share another affirmation and journal prompt with you. And I would love to see you here for that as well. All right. So our affirmation, our journal prompt, we got this story we're writing, and this new chapter is going to be amazeballs, right? All right. So I will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Oh, no, sorry. I already blew it there. 10 a.m. Eastern. And you have an amazing, thrilling, adventurous day. Mwah.